Hello everyone, and today we're going to be attempting the Scarescraper solo and without the upgrade that gives your Poltergust 7 slams, so let's just get right into it. Since this is a ghost floor, the first thing we're going to do is check the surrounding rooms, and this one seems to have a few goobs, so I'm going to take care of that really quick. Now the first strategy that I employ is alternating between Luigi and Gooigi to stun the ghost, and if you maneuver just right you can get all of them into your vacuum at once. As you can see here, I use Gooigi to slam the ghost so Luigi can get to the door as fast as possible, which doesn't save a lot of time, but time is precious during this run. For this room I immediately bring Gooigi out, which is going to be a pretty common pattern for the rest of this video. Here I alternate between stunning ghosts and sucking the stunned ghost closer, which is another way of getting them all into your vacuum. Also, for some reason goobs are the only ghosts that I can slam 5 times in a row, so I'll usually try to get them down to 80 HP before slamming them. As you can see, I also collect the timepiece that the ghost dropped, as timepieces bump the clock up by 30 seconds and I need all the time that I can get. You'll also see me checking these one by one rooms, as sometimes they'll contain useful power-ups. Here you can see the first hammer encounter of the run, whom I luckily have a couple of strategies to deal with. The first is if your slam timer is about to run out, you can press ZL to let go of the ghost but keep it in the same place, which will come in very useful later on in the video. In this room I find a superstar, which allows me to clear rooms near instantly. After unlocking the door with the key I found, I move on to the last few rooms of the floor, but not before searching the balcony for power-ups. In the first room I find 2 slinkers, which can be dealt with by bringing Gooigi out and waiting. Here I encounter another hammer, and the second strategy for hammers is to use both Luigi and Gooigi to double slam them. These rooms are pretty easy when only one Luigi is present, but make sure to check the chest for power-ups. The last room was a bit harder than I expected, but luckily I was able to beat it with more than a minute to spare. Our second floor is a collect the money floor, which is lucky since these tend to be on the easier side if you know what you're doing. As you can see, I'm checking the furniture in this bathroom for money, especially the chest at the bottom, which can easily net you 300 gold. After that, I move around to the first ghost room of the floor, which contains a box that I can easily open by charging Luigi's Poltergust up and with 2 perfectly timed A presses. From there, the rest is easy, and the 2 gold goobs net me over 600 gold total, meaning I'm already about a fourth of the way there. The first order of business for this floor is to check the bathroom to the north for ghosts, which I find and easily manage to take out. I also managed to find a super poltergust power-up, which makes this floor much easier. The rest of the floor is relatively uneventful, but fits neatly into a compilation, so let's go. For floor 4, we have a mini ghost floor, which for me personally is the hardest type of floor. That's because these mini ghosts unfortunately don't drop any timepieces, which makes us much more likely to lose on time. To add to the difficulty, our poltergust gets stolen midway through the floor, but it isn't all bad since it helps us find a key. After that, we step on a player pad and use the key we found to unlock the rest of the rooms. We were about to lose on time here, but luckily I managed to find a timepiece and a piece of furniture, allowing me to clear the last room with just 12 seconds left. Floor 5 is a rare ghost floor, meaning that I need to find the key and some power-ups ASAP. Luckily, I managed to find the former in the bathroom to the east, so now I need to look for power-ups. Notably, some rooms have a secret strobe trapdoor that can be revealed by blowing on a fan, but this one doesn't have a power-up unfortunately. Additionally, these chests in the hallway sometimes contain power-ups, but the trap siren this one gives us is largely useless in combat. Balconies often contain power-ups, meaning that here we managed to find a strobe bulb upgrade and most importantly, a suction upgrade. Now it's officially time for the battle. Firstly, we use the pause menu to cancel the animation and regain control of Luigi, allowing us to stun all of the ghosts early. After managing to get all of the speed cubes into our vacuum, we bring the count down to just 3 ghosts left. And with that, we're already a fourth of the way there. Floor 6 was relatively easy, but shows that more than just the rare ghost animation can be skipped with the pause menu. Interestingly, we can use it to make the TV warp animation faster, saving us a couple of precious seconds. Most importantly though, we can use it to restore our map when the lights go out. Other than that, after finding an impromptu suction upgrade, we close out the floor with a time of 5 minutes and 17 seconds. Floor 7 is a collect the money floor, so other than a few minor inconveniences, I was able to beat the floor with over a minute to spare. Our objective this time is to rescue the toads scattered across floor 8. After scouting the rightmost half of the floor for toads, I rescue Yellow Toad and Green Toad with relative ease. After sending them through the pixelator screen, I move on to the leftmost half of the floor and rescue Blue Toad and Yellow Toad, but not without shoehorning in some Luigi tech first. After that, I clear the floor with over a minute to spare. Floor 9 was pretty easy for a capture the ghost floor, but the lights did go out and I refused to waste 5 seconds turning them back on. After that, with the help of some timepieces, I complete the floor with about a minute to spare. Floor 10 is a rare ghost floor, so I go ahead and start collecting power-ups. While I'm doing this, I might as well explain that rare ghosts from previous floors will reappear on subsequent ones. This means that I'm guaranteed to find speed cubes on this floor, as well as a secondary rare ghost type, both of which will appear later on floor 15 as well. After finding the key, I head to the boss room and start the fight. Unfortunately, the secondary ghosts for this floor were lethal slinkers, which can KO me in one hit. After some careful maneuvering, I was able to beat the floor with, yet again, a minute to spare. This floor is another Find the Toads floor, which gets off to a great start when I find a key on the ground with minimal effort. After finding the locations of all 4 toads, and finding my stolen poltergust, the rest of the floor is smooth sailing. Welcome to floor 12, which gets off to a great start with the key found in the first 15 seconds. While the ghost counter is only at 16 this floor, these floors tend to be the hardest since they concentrate all of their ghosts into just a few rooms. It was here that I realized that I had to defeat 8 consecutive hammers, with the only saving grace being the books from the study, which had a high propensity to drop hearts. I only had 1 ghost left, but thankfully, with just 10 seconds to spare, I barely managed to complete the floor. This will be a sign of things to come. Surprisingly, I was offered a grace period for the next 2 floors, so here's some small notes I have about them. Firstly, I managed to complete floor 13 with over 2 minutes left, due to some great luck with timepieces. Floor 14 was a mini ghost floor, but was relatively easy since many of the rooms had goobs in them rather than hammers. Other than that, it's time for the third and final rare ghost floor. Since it's guaranteed that there will be lethal ghosts on this floor, it's important that I find a key and a suction power-up. Luckily, I easily find the key in the hallway and begin searching for some power-ups. Since my search wasn't going that well, I was about to resign myself to doing the fight without a suction power-up, but managed to find one at the last minute. Following that, I initiated the fight to find that the new ghosts for this floor were medic goobs. After quite a few diligent slams though, I was able to beat the floor with over 50 seconds to spare. I was going in expecting this floor to be easy, which was mostly true, but I started to notice halfway through that I was lagging behind on time. After an easy key and some more ghost slamming, I moved on to the final wing of the floor. For a floor this late in the run, floor 17 was much easier than I expected. The ghosts were mostly goobs, so I was able to clear the majority of rooms quickly. After quite a lot of ghost slamming, I was ready to move on to the next floor. After checking the starting room for any power-ups, I was immediately greeted by some hammers and made the realization that this floor was going to be much harder than I hoped for. I got brought down to 39 health by these 2 hammers, but was able to recover and complete the room, a pattern that I hoped would continue. I decided to enter this room next and realized that I was going to have to clear a group of 6 hammers to beat this floor and move on. So... After that, with some difficulty, I cleared out a couple more hammers and finally beat the floor. The game threw me a bone for floor 19 by giving me a defeat the crows floor, which gives me a bit of time to mentally prepare myself for the upcoming battle. I immediately get a Shrillwold power up, which essentially guarantees success since I can use it to clear out rooms instantly. With all the formalities out of the way, it's finally time to take on the final floor. It's time for the final challenge of this video, so let's begin. During the first attack cycle, I was able to dodge the 3 attacks given to me with relative ease, with no health lost so far. When Boolossus spits out the... I don't manage to suck up the blue bombs, which stun Boolossus for much longer than the normal ones. With some clutch Gooigi tech though, I managed to capture a grand total of 3 boos. Only 12 to go. Another attack cycle begins with the addition of arrows as well. This time, I managed to vacuum up 5 boos, allowing me to enter into the second phase. After capturing 3 more boos, I was down to just 5 left, marking the beginning of the third and final phase. And now, there's just 1 to go. Thanks for watching, YouTube thinks you'll like this video, and peace.